Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Mark, and I usually talk about my finances, but I also talk about everything else going on in my life. A few months ago, I made a video about my experience working at Target, and while I worked there, I picked up some insider tips that I thought that I'd share with you today. The first is the one that no one wants to talk about, and that is the red card. But I'm going to give you a trick so that you never have to talk about it. See, a lot of people don't like going through the line at Target because the employees are required to ask every guest every time about the red card. Here's the thing. You can go through the self-checkout and you won't get hassled, or when the cashier asks you about it, just tell them you have the card. No one cares if you actually have the card. They just have to ask. So if you don't want to be hassled about it and they ask you about the card, just say yeah. No one cares if you actually pay with it. That being said though, you should have the red card. And that's because it saves you 5% on everything every day. It gives you an extended 30 days to return your stuff. And what works out best for me is that you get free 2-day shipping on anything that you order online. Now, a couple of insider secrets that I can give you about the red card is that if you go to Starbucks a lot, come to Target, pay with your red card, because it also works in the Starbucks in store. So get 5% off your Starbucks every time. It also takes 5% off gift cards. Now it doesn't work on Target gift cards, but let's say that you are going on a vacation and you're going to stay in an Airbnb. Well, go get $100, let's say, in Airbnb gift cards from Target and use your 5% off. So you're paying $95 for your $100 in Airbnb credit. The red card, if you don't want to sign up for a credit card, that's okay too. There's a debit version, it just connects to your checking account, and you get all the same benefits. If you would like to sign up for a red card, there is a link down in the description of this video and in the pinned comment below the video. Just click on that link, it'll take you to the application. The next thing we got to talk about is Cartwheels, or it was recently renamed Target Circle. Now, with the update, I'm not as familiar, but I still know that it basically works as little coupons, essentially. Just go through, use your Target app while you're in the store, scan every item that you have, and make sure that there aren't any little bonuses. Sometimes it's $1 off, sometimes it's 10% off, sometimes it's that you get an extra gift card back when you buy that item. But always scan everything to make sure so you're not missing out on those. And now with Target Circle, you also earn cash back. Now it's not that you physically get it back, but it saves it up in the app and you can apply it to future purchases. And one of the things that I did when I worked at Target is I worked at the guest service desk. And part of my job, really most of my job there, was doing returns. So here's the hint about returning things at Target. We will pretty much return anything. Normally we don't ask questions, and unless you get a manager, most people really don't care why you're returning anything. We will even return things without a receipt, just with your ID, up to a value of $100 per year. But one tip that I want to mention is if you ever go to return something at Target and you've forgotten your receipt, we can usually use your card, or we can use your red card account in order to look up that transaction. And here's a big way to save money that almost nobody knows about, but that's that Target price matches. Specifically, they'll price match Amazon, Walmart, but also a lot of other places as well. In fact, I'm not sure that there are actually any that are excluded. Those are just the ones that were given as examples. So if you find something cheaper on Amazon, just show that to your cashier. They may have to get manager approval, maybe not, depending on how much the difference in price is, but they can get you that price that you see online and you can get it that day instead of waiting for shipping. There is sometimes a caveat to this. I can tell you that last year, at a couple periods during the holiday season, they did change it so that we price match only to Target.com and not to any competitors' websites. But for the majority of the year, it's for just about any competitor. Now, speaking of Target.com prices, you can always check the price on Target.com while you're in the store simply by scanning the product's barcode in the store with your Target app as you would if you were checking to see if there were cartwheels on it. The one thing that you have to remember is that you have to disconnect from the store Wi-Fi. If you don't do that, it's always going to give you the same price as what's in the store, because it knows you're in the store, because it knows you're connected to that Wi-Fi. But if you turn that Wi-Fi off, or simply just don't connect to the store Wi-Fi while you're in there, then it's going to give you the price at Target.com, which often is cheaper. So you can go ahead and you can show that to the cashier when you get to the register, and then they're going to change that for you. So here are a few just random other tips that might help you save a little bit of money. For every bag that you bring in, whether it just be an old Target bag or whether it be one that is purpose made to be reusable, for every one that is used, you get 5 cents off. Now you might have to remind the cashier to do this, but they do have a barcode next to the register to scan, and they'll give you 5 cents off for every one of those bags that you bring in and use. You can also do this yourself at the self-checkout. Just before you scan anything, it's going to ask you how many bags you brought in that day. Another thing that Target does a little bit differently, and it gives you the opportunity to save some money, is that Target sells its fruits and vegetables by the each rather than by the weight. So let's say you want to get a sweet potato, and a sweet potato is, I don't know what it is, 59 cents. Well, you can get a sweet potato that's half a pound, or you can get a sweet potato that's a pound, and it's both going to be 59 cents, so get the one that's a pound. I always thought this was a little strange when I worked there, but I'm not saying you should take advantage of this, but some people out there might. Target has a very strange ID policy for its alcohol sales. The policy is that only the main person checking out, essentially the first person who comes up to the register and who is the person paying, is ID'd. So if that person is 21 and everybody else with them is 15, most places would try to card everyone, or maybe the cashier would refuse to sell because they're like, hey, you're obviously buying for these people. But Target policy is only that main person can be ID'd. If you find any items that are damaged, they might be clearance items that you find randomly on the shelf, maybe something that was returned and the packaging is pretty messed up on it, or if it's something that's just obviously broken. Like we had a person who found half a little caterpillar toy and the kid really wanted it, so the manager gave them 50% off. If you simply ask the manager, and if it's a damaged item, they usually will take something off, even if it's just like 5 or 10%. Now finally, Target has all kinds of different and new options as far as getting your stuff conveniently, but as somebody working from the inside, I have to throw this out here because it's not something that anybody knows, and that is when you do drive up, which is where you drive to the store and we bring everything out to you. The way that is timed, we only have 2 minutes from the time that you tap that you've arrived to the time that we have to have that thing signed and finished in our Zebra, which is the little computer we have. When you see the person wildly running out of the front door of the store to the drive-up space, that's why they're doing that. What would help a ton is if you do the on our way and then here, because that way we can actually have it ready at the counter, ready to run out the door when you get there. Otherwise, if we just get the I'm here beep, then it's going to take us longer than the 2 minutes. And finally, another thing that most people don't know about is Target subscriptions. Now the subscription service would be for something that you need to stock up on. You get to set the frequency, but let's say it's every month. Let's say that you need to get a roll of paper towels every month. And what you would do is you're gonna set that in the Target app as a scheduled delivery. Not only do you get free shipping on that, but you get the 5% off with your red card, and you get an additional 5% off for having that recurring service. So if it's something like paper towels, or if it's office supplies or something like that, it's just another way to save a little bit more on that. So I hope this helps everyone save a little bit of money, and I hope that I've offered insider tips that will help you be a better Target shopper. Again, the biggest thing out of all this is to get the red card. because it doesn't cost you anything and it's literally going to save you 5%. If you shop at Target a lot, that's going to be a lot of money over time. So click the link down in the description or in the pinned comment below to go ahead and sign up for that card. And if any of these tips helped you, let me know down in the comments.